in order to use a carbon credit, you have to retire that. So if you're deciding to go down a carbon neutrality or a beyond value chain mitigation route, retiring the credit is imperative because that then takes it off the registry. It doesn't make it available for resale, and it also makes it used. So you can then use that certificate for your whatever your sustainability goals are.
There are people out there who are buying up carbon credits but not retiring them. Why would they do that?
So I think there's the first reason is for example, for ensuring supply. So we know that there's risk of supply coming with carbon credits over time. We expect that to happen in the next couple of years. So businesses are purchasing this to ensure supply and to ensure favorable pricing, to be frank, because prices are relatively suppressed at the moment and they're expected to go up significantly. So it's a question of procurement. There are some other actors, so traders, for example, who will purchase credits to hold on to them, to see them as an asset, to then sell on after that.
So are you seeing people buy credits with a view to retiring them in 10 years' time, in 20 years' time? Is that a thing?
Yeah, so one of the really interesting facts that we're looking at, so if businesses have made a commitment to be net zero, and they have agreed to be a net zero date of, say, 2040, the availability of credits and the cost of credits for your unavoidable 10%, 20%, whatever it might be, depending on whether you're signed up with the Science Based Targets Initiative, is really important because actually you are going to require carbon offsets in order to achieve net zero. Now, at that point, there may not be that many available. In particular, if supply doesn't keep up with demand, which is not what we're expecting, then one, the price of available credits will be incredibly high, and two, there won't be that many, so you'll be competing heavily to get that supply. So what we're seeing is we are seeing businesses who have that forward-thinking risk mindset, so changing it from a sustainability point of view to a risk point of view, and saying, actually, why don't we ensure favorable pricing by purchasing what's known as pending issuance units? And pending issuance units, or carbon futures, if you look at it from more of an asset point of view, are when you buy a tree when it's small for when it's going to be big. Now, of course, there are inherent risks associated with that, but what that then does is means that you have the availability of supply, you have the availability of lots of different solutions potentially, and you also have hold an asset that you can then use in the future. So in answer to your question, really long with this is yes, absolutely, we are seeing businesses start to think about that long term because it's much more of a risk. In particular, businesses have made claims of being net zero by 2030, for example, because one is once they've gone through that decarbonisation journey, they are going to need those offsets. And if you're worried about supply, then it's best to buy now. Nature Broking, we call ourselves natural capital solutions providers. And in essence, what does that mean? That means that we source natural capital solutions. So looking at carbon offsets, primarily high integrity nature-based carbon offsets from the UK, but also increasingly internationally. And then we also source other solutions, such as nature sponsorship programs that helps businesses really sort of connect with nature. And we like to go one beyond that. So I like to go and actually look at things like engagement. So creating that real connection with nature.